All right, we are on the air. Season 2, episode 14. Dover, baby. Who conquered the Monster Mile and who gets to take home that big concrete trophy? So that was the big events of the weekend, as well as a couple of interesting news stories. And up next, drum roll please, it is Throwback weekend at Darlington. And we got a special segment on throwback schemes. We're going to do a huge section on paint scheme face-off with our throwback schemes. And I got some big news, but I'll get to my big news in a minute. First, let me get to my co-host, Zachary Brandvold, Aaron Simmons. Aaron, sporting a new computer out of the guest bedroom, moving up in the world. How are you, and how is that new computer this evening, Aaron?
Well, for those of you who don't know, this is the, brand new office, which is actually my own bedroom. So I guess I moved up from the second tier bedroom to the actual bedroom. So I'm moving up in the world, slowly but surely. But yeah, I just got the computer hooked up and ready to go about 6:30 today. So it's been a long day. I got a brand new desk that I'm on right now. Built it this morning. It was a pain in the butt to try and get assembled. It said it took 2 people, but I only did with 1. So that's just how bossy I am right now. So, but I'm doing well. Computer is nice. It's new. It's so much faster than my laptop that I'm currently on right now. But it's a joy to be with.
It sounds like you are just killing it today, Aaron.
I am.
Like you are just killing it. Zach, how are you today?
Doing well. I thought I had everything done ahead of time at work today. I don't know why you guys can't see me. Oh, hold on. Thought I had everything done at work today early and this morning, and everything sent out. And then I realized that, then we realized that our email was down. So that was a little bit of a sad moment there, having to get caught up a little bit late. But we did that, and we were good. I'm glad to be home and talking racing with you guys. So I'm excited to get started on it.
Okay. All right. Before we get into the racing, I have a big announcement to make. I had asked for support from our viewers, specifically support for some friends of mine, racingrefresh.com, to sign up for their newsletter. Whoever got the most people to sign up got a $100 donated to the charity of their choice and got $100 for themselves. If you will recall, I asked for you guys to go out and support them and said, everybody who puts me down as the referral, I will put into a drawing and take the $100 that's given to me, and I will donate it to a charity of their choice. Well, I won the contest. Thank you guys for the support. So I will have some money coming my way. I got to get a list of everybody who put me as a referral, and we'll probably do some kind of a drawing on the air where I put the names in a hat and pull them out, and then let them pick the charity of their choice that they would like for me to donate that $100 to. So thank you guys for the support. Greatly appreciated. And like I said, I got to get the list. I got to get the money in my hand, and then I will help. And I am joined by my co-host, Sonny. Sonny, look over here, bud. Look.
Come on, Sonny. Come on.
Sonny, over here. Sonny, do you want to be a TV show host or a NASCAR YouTube host? You got the looks for it. I'm not sure you got the voice. All right.
No,
anyway, yeah, Mike, happy for me. Thank you, Mike. Sonny's happy for me. He's sticking his nose right here in the middle of it. But let's get into the racing. We'll come back to some of the other stuff later, but racing at Dover this weekend. The Monster Mile, the winner gets a big, heavy concrete trophy. Xfinity and Cup, no truck race this weekend. Let me take you through the Xfinity race, and then I think Zach's going to cover the Cup race. And I think Lola is about to make an appearance on camera too, so this could get a little crazy here. It was a great day if you were a member of Junior Motorsports. They had fast cars. They had Justin Allgaier up front. They had Sam Mayer up front. They had Josh Berry ultimately winning the thing. But let's take you through how this show went at Dover. Allgaier looked strong, looked like he might have the best car, but Sam Mayer makes it into the lead, drives away, gets a little bit of a challenge at the end of stage one, and Sam Mayer wins stage one. I think Junior Motorsports, for most of stage one, occupied 3 of the top 4 spots. Now, a couple big things that happened here. Sam Mayer, sometimes you can have a fast car and it's just not your day. It was not Sam Mayer's day. Sam Mayer pulls out at the end of stage one after pitting, and his pit crew immediately knows there's a problem, and they're signaling him to come back in. He can't make it back in before he loses a tire. I think it was a left rear tire. That was just the start of his problems on pit road. At the end of stage two, he would get caught for speeding. So Sam Mayer had to drive through the field twice, came back with a decent finish, but honestly may have had the best car and had a chance to win, but the pit road problems just killed him. Some of his own doing, some of his pit crew's doing. Little side note that probably missed a lot of the highlight reels. When they were doing the Fox side-by-side, we saw a little dust up on the track, and as if you will recall, I think a week or two ago, we talked about was the feud between, was it Sam Mayer and Ty Gibbs? Was it over or would it continue? And I said, it's over because next week Ty Gibbs will be into it with somebody else. Well, guess what? He was into it with Noah Gragson. I never did get to see what happened. They never caught it on camera, but during the Fox side-by-side, he came up to try to pass Noah Gragson, and Noah just about beat the bumper off his car. I mean, he didn't just bump him once to let him know that he wasn't happy with him. He rode that 54's bumper halfway around the track, made contact with it several times. I don't know what led up to it, but Noah absolutely was unhappy and let him know it. So let's make note, he's moved on from Sam Mayer. Now Ty Gibbs is into it with Noah Gragson. But those were some of the big stories. Coming into stage 3, though, Riley Herbst, there's a caution right at the start of stage 3. Riley Herbst pits and thinks he's going to make it the rest of the way on fuel and assumes it'll go green. I do not get that move. Do not understand it. 98 laps or whatever, 95 laps is a long way to go without a caution. It didn't work out. There was a caution with 40 to go. The highlight of the race, though, was the Josh Berry pass for the lead. Oh, my gosh. It was probably the most exciting 20 seconds of racing you'll see. Josh Berry, second place, teammate Justin Allgaier in the lead, coming up on lap traffic. Berry makes a fantastic move to use Mason Massey as a pick and get by Allgaier. Allgaier says, I'm not done yet. He comes back on a crossover, basically to get the lead back from Josh Berry. It looks like he's free and clear. Then they hadn't even done another full lap, get caught up behind 2 more lap cars running side by side. You could tell that that Allgaier coming off the corner was pinched down underneath the 2 lap cars, couldn't get back to the gas when he wanted to. As they come out of the corner, Berry is behind him, wasn't caught up behind the lap cars, had a full speed, dove under him, takes the lead. And once he got the lead, he drove away. At one point, he got up to a 2.5 lead. And that was the story of the race. There was another caution with 40 to go, and Allgaier had some problems. A slow pit stop, had to restart 5th, rebounded to 2nd. But Josh Berry, who stalled over for the first time last year and came away with a 2nd place finish, clearly learned something, figured it out, and grabs the win. So Josh Berry, your winner at Xfinity. And that battle for the lead with about 50 to go, it didn't last long, but oh my gosh, that was about 20 or 30 seconds of the best racing you will ever see. So that's the story. Great day for Junior Motorsports overall. Even Sam Mayer, with all the problems on pit road, I think got close to a top 5 finish. So, yeah, Mike Hoare saying that Xfinity race was pretty daggone good. So if you missed it, at least catch the highlights because it did have some excitement. So I think Zach is going to do the Cup race. Anybody got anything to add before we go into the Cup race?
I don't think so, but just from watching the highlights, because I was at work during the Xfinity race, I don't know, it seemed like Josh just didn't have that good of a car, or he had a bunch of problems early on, but was able to overcome the loose car, it seems like, and everyone just trying to get him aero loose and aero tight and all that and come back for a win. It seems like he just had a car and he would not be denied for a win. And so good on Josh Berry for a win.
Yeah. And really, he had a fast car, but he and his pit crew were flawless. Sam Mayer was great competition, had trouble twice on pit road. Justin Allgaier, great competition, had already given up the lead, but the money pit stop with 40 to go, they were slow, and he lost 2 or 3 spots, wound up coming out 5th. So, yeah, he would not be denied, but he also didn't make any mistakes, too.
And that's keyed over. Just don't make any mistakes.
Absolutely.
I thought it was interesting seeing Ty Gibbs make yet another enemy on track. With the way he's going to have everybody gunning for him and trying to wreck him out. Not very smart, if you ask me.
No,
I love Brad Keselowski's comment on there. They asked Brad, and I don't know that it was related to Ty Gibbs, but it applied. They asked him, "Who is your biggest rival?" And he said, "I don't want to have any rivals." He said, "I don't want to have anybody out there who's gunning for me and hates me and wants to wreck me." He said, "It's tough enough getting a win without having somebody race you harder than they need to." He said, "I don't want to have any rivals." So,
yeah, Brad has had a few in his career.
He's had just a few.
Just a few.
I'm still not sure Tony Stewart speaks to him, but
no. But I do want to say Brad and Joey in the booth are a really good duo.
And
I mean, of course,
I wasn't sure how that would work, because I'm not sure that they like each other real well on the track either. Those are probably two of the more unpopular drivers in the garage area, I would think. But yeah, they do work well together in the booth.
Yeah, I thought they worked really well together in the booth, though, and so that's kind of my parting comment for that.
I agree with that.
Zach, take us through the Cup race.
All right, so interesting Cup race. Partially got delayed, as I will get into in a minute. But stage 1, Buescher and Hamlin started out on the front row at Dover. A shocking pole by the RFK driver when you consider that his teammate and more experienced teammate was qualified 20th, and the performance of RFK over the season. But anyway. On the start, Hamlin spins his tires and falls all the way back to 4th. On lap 18, Buescher catches the tail end of the lead lap and washes up. He had a pretty, I wouldn't say comfortable lead, but he had a pretty decent lead on Hamlin there before that happened, and he washes up and Hamlin takes the lead there. Larson moving into second right after. At the competition caution, you have Hamlin, Larson, Buescher, Elliott, and Blaney, all your top 5. And then with a restart, 74 to go in the stage, Hamlin retains the lead. Then Larson, Chastain with an amazing pit stop gets into 3rd, followed by Buescher and Elliott. That's your top 5 for that restart. 21 laps later, we have a caution for rain, and it was announced that it would be resumed Monday. So, back on the resume, Larson starts at the front, followed by Elliott, Truex, Byron, and Bell. Shortly after, we have our 3rd caution of the race when Cindric gets too far up in the marbles into the wall, ending his day. Blaney trying to avoid Gilliland trying to avoid slows down. Blaney gets into the back of them. Both have pretty significant damage, but both are able to continue. Hamlin restart. Hamlin ended up catching Larson, passes him with ease, runs down Elliott with 9 to go in the stage to win. Their stage top 5 is Hamlin, Elliott, Bell, Chastain, and Truex. Stage 2, Hamlin, when he comes in for his caution, or for the under caution, he loses a wheel on pit road, and his race gets derailed after that. Chastain, with an amazing pit stop, gets the lead for the start of stage 2. Your top 5, or I'm sorry, your other 4 spots would be Bell, Truex, Elliott, and Buescher. Bell's tire goes down, but there isn't a caution as he makes it to pit road. However, shortly thereafter, there is a caution as Larson spins out from the lead. He just looked to have gotten onto the throttle too soon, spins out on the front stretch, but he ends up getting away without too much damage. He spun out with only 27. I'm sorry, he spun out to only 27 laps into the run itself. Chastain leads Truex on that restart. Haley jumps into second place, but falls back to fourth pretty shortly. But then again, there is another caution as Allmendinger tries to get underneath Kurt Busch, but they touch and Kurt spins up into the wall, ruins his day. As we get to the restart, another shook-up order sees Haley and his teammate, both Colleague racing cars in the top two, for the 50 lap finish to stage 2. With 40 laps to go, Bowman grabs the lead from Haley with Kyle Busch right behind. Haley also pretty close when Kyle Busch grabs the lead a lap later. But the 51 spins out and kills a hard-charging Hamlin on fresh tires, effectively ruins his day with 3 laps to go, only 3 laps to go in the stage. Blaney stays out, grabs the lead, and wins the stage. Your top 5 being Blaney, Kyle Busch, Bowman, Truex, and get this, Harrison Burton. And then we go into stage 3. Kyle Busch takes the lead with Bowman on the inside, Truex and Stenhouse in row 2. Chastain and Truex seem to be near each other the entire race. This is no different on that restart. Allmendinger and Blaney are the first to pit with around 77 laps to go. Allmendinger was hard charging in the top 10 when he pitted for tires, but a loose tire falls off as he's coming out of the pits and bites him, causing a caution as the 2 leaders enter pit road. So the 18 and the 48 both were leading, or not both were leading. Both were very close together. 18 was leading the 48. They get caught a lap down and will have to fight their way back up to the front, taking the wave around. On that restart, Chastain leads Truex off of the lap 331 restart. Elliott and Bell are now in row 2. It's a nice recovery from Bell after spinning out in stage 2. But there's yet another caution. Keep in mind they took the green with 77 laps to go. At not 10 laps later, Suarez backs it into the wall after a questionable decision trying to pass Ligiway for 12th place. He gets a run, tries to go to his outside or inside, gets too low and washes up the track and takes them both out. Chastain leads Elliott for the restart with 61 to go, with them fighting side by side for several laps. And this happens until Reddick loses it on the backstretch and brings out another caution. Tyler Reddick effectively destroyed his race car and his chances of getting a decent finish with that wreck. Chastain yet again leads the restart against Elliott, but spins his tires and loses the lead and falls to third place. Stenhouse also passes Chastain for second and runs away from him. Coming to the finish, no one can touch Elliott as he runs away with it and wins at Dover. Truex, with a run, seemingly gets blocked or wrecked, depending on how you see it, from Chastain, who cut him off up high on the final lap, and Truex finishes 12th, while Chastain finishes 3rd. Your top 5 will be Elliott, Stenhouse, Chastain, Truex, and Bell. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Anybody?
It seemed like I caught bits and pieces of the race both on Sunday and Monday. And it's like every time I looked, I thought, oh, this guy's got the car to beat. At one point, it was Kyle Larson. At one point, it was Denny Hamlin. At one point, it was Kyle Busch. At one point, I thought it might have been Ross Chastain. It's as the race went on, it seemed like you had a different person at the front a lot, which was kind of cool. And it seemed like Elliott didn't show a lot or maybe he didn't have a lot until the end, because he hung around, but I don't think he led very many laps until that last, 70 or 50 lap run or whatever it was. How about Ricky Stenhouse Jr. bringing the thing home in second place? That is impressive. And Harrison Burton with a top 5. And Ross Chastain is just becoming a threat to win every week. He is just, it seems like he is making a case to be a solid championship contender because he is in the mix every week, it seems like. So, yeah, I had a lot to say for somebody who didn't really get to see that much of the race.
Yeah, it seemed like Dover was just one of those races where it seemed like 5 or 6 guys, you could argue could have won that race. Hamlin early on, he looked like he was a guy to beat all day until his pit crew kind of screwed him over. But yeah, I mean, it looked like Hamlin had the car to beat. It looked like Larson had the car to beat. It seemed like it was about. It seems like it was just a battle between Hendrick and Gibbs, just going at each other to see who wanted that race more. But of course, Hendrick really did win it. But hey, I mean, honestly, if I'm Joe Gibbs, even though I didn't win that race, I am happy because you had your three best drivers win it, or at least do well in Hamlin, Busch and Truex doing very well. But then you had the fourth link there, Christopher Bell doing fairly well for himself at Dover. And so if I'm Joe Gibbs, I'm not really too frustrated by them not winning. I'm well that they actually put a solid performance in all four cars. So I'll count this as kind of a more victory for Gibbs.
Yeah, because Gibbs has definitely had some struggles this year. They have been up and down. And Mike Hoare with a comment, I don't know that they ever said why Larson spun. I don't know if the car was just loose on him. Whatever. I never really heard anybody give an explanation like whether he just made an error, the car was loose. I don't know. It's rare to see a guy of Kyle Larson's talent to just spin the car on his own, Yeah. It's rare.
It looked like the car just spun out, just got from under him at that particular time. It may have. But I mean, whatever was wrong with the car, if there was any, it didn't seem to slow him down any. So I really think it just got loose out from under him.
I think it just got loose there. It was essentially a green racetrack there. It looked like on that restart, and I think he got back into the throttle just a little bit quicker than he probably should have, and that had to be probably due to a green racetrack there.
But hey, I mean, didn't matter. I mean, he still got a solid finish. So
one thing I do want to note is I took a picture of the race about a couple different stages. Let me see if I can pull those up. So yeah, at lap 267, you have your top 20, and bear with me here because I would just want to emphasize how I think Dover brought out the parity in the next gen car better than any other race so far. And that's just evident by the results if you look at it. So on lap 267, you have Kyle Busch, Bowman, Stenhouse, Chastain, Truex, Jones, Eric Jones in 6th, Buescher 7th, Larson, Elliott, Almirola 10th, Allmendinger 12th, Keselowski 13th. You have Bell, Byron, LaJoy 16th, McDowell 17th, Haley 18th, Wallace 19th, Ryan Preece 20th. And then if you look at 96 to go, so this is after quite a few amount of laps afterwards. You still see. So you have. Sorry, it keeps going after me. Hold on. So 96 to go. You have Kyle Busch, Bowman, Chastain, Truex, Stenhouse, Elliott, Larson, Bell, Jones still in the top 10. Buescher still in the top 10. Allmendinger almost in the top 10. Moved up. Almirola 12th. LaJoy moved up 14th. McDowell 15th. Preece 16th. Haley 17th. So you see these runs that people are having. They're sticking with it. They're moving up higher. You got a part-time team in Colleague Racing that have both their cars in the top 20 when you don't see that normally. You got Preece, Rick Ware Racing car in the top almost 15. McDowell, LaJoy, who you never see in the top 10 except of restrictor plate races, hanging out there in 14th. He actually gets up to 12th. Crazy. And I thought that this was probably the best showcase of the new next gen car that it could have gotten. So that's just my point on that. I'll leave it at that and not talk too much.
I'll agree to that.
Okay. All right. So a lot of action, and a lot of people talk about Dover being a boring race with long green flag runs. We had quite a few cautions actually. So it did bring in some strategy. It did bring the field back together, and we had a lot of people taking their turn at the front, but overall probably a better than average Dover race. But let's move on to the NASCAR news, and not a lot of stories this week. We are trying to save room to go over a lot of stuff with the paint scheme previews for the Darlington Throwback. But I'm going to cover the first story in this, and this is a story that I have found interesting and have followed for a long time, and always wondered what the real deal was, and actually at one point thought I might have some insights into it. But 40 years ago, 1982, when things were not the way they are now, with the internet and everything being available, a guy came in and ran a race at Talladega. And this is, I think the day that this story broke was the exact 40th anniversary, by the name of L.W. Wright. Okay. Back then, there weren't a lot of ways to check credentials. And apparently the guy was part con artist, part smooth talker, part lots of things, not part race car driver. Okay.
Or fraud.
Yeah. And he managed to get a hold of a car, get a NASCAR license, lie about a lot of his credentials and racing experience, actually qualified the car for the race, although he did wreck the car on the second lap qualifying. They got the car put back together. He got into the race. Became pretty obvious he had no idea what he was doing on the track. NASCAR black flagged him after 13 laps, and boom, he disappears. It was like a David Copperfield disappearing trick. He's gone. He vanished. A lot of the checks he wrote started to bounce. Nobody could ever pin him down. Nobody never said that they'd ever raced with him anywhere, that they ever knew him from anywhere. He was a ghost for 40 years. If you ever got some time on your hand, go on YouTube and just type in L.W. Wright and watch a couple of the videos come out. It was an amazing mystery of NASCAR. Is who is this guy? What motivated him to do this? Whatever became of him? Well, 40 years later, some guys who do a podcast called the Scene Vault Podcast somehow managed to make contact with him and actually got an interview with him. The guy actually posed with the uniform, and there's only one known picture of L.W. Wright at Talladega. And he posed holding a picture with himself, holding the uniform from 1982 that is an exact match of the one picture that was. They apparently interviewed this guy for like 2 hours and 15 minutes. They showed snippets of it on their podcast, about 10 minutes of it. It was really interesting and disappointing at the same time. After hearing this guy talk for 10 minutes, I have no doubt he is the L.W. Wright that ran in that race. The problem is they interviewed him for 2 hours and 15 minutes and showed us 10-minute snippets of it that didn't tell us a whole lot of anything new. So I'm like, guys, you have solved the biggest mystery in the history of NASCAR, and you're not going to tell the whole story. It was, I thought, very amateurish, very poorly done, and very disappointing in that it didn't show very much of the interview. We don't know why he did it. We don't know why he disappeared. We don't know what he's been up to for the last 40 years. We don't know why he's coming out now. There's just so many unanswered questions. I know they made it very clear. Their hope is that somebody approaches them about making a movie or writing a book about this. And that's why they're holding out all the information, which to me is a little bit of a pipe dream that is extremely selfish. So many people want to know this story. Don't hold out if you've got it. Let us know. And they mentioned a couple times that the man, his real name is Larry Wright, and he is in failing health. And I would hate to think that they've got this interview and now they're basically going to wait on him to die and then capitalize because they are the only people that have any footage of talking to him. I would hate to think that they are that morbid, but it kind of seems like that is their plan, which is extremely disappointing. I'm glad we found out, but man, I want to know the whole story. I want to hear the whole 2 hour and 15-minute interview.
Same here.
So share it with us. Let everybody know. This is like solving a big mystery and then not telling us anything about it. So
yeah,
very exciting, but very disappointing too. So with that being said, anybody out there's watching this, Google L.W. Wright and just watch a couple of the videos and you'll find what a compelling and interesting character it is, and how he was able to pull off getting into a NASCAR race 40 years ago with zero driving experience, basically. So,
yeah, and I guess like a little snippet into L.W. Wright. He's basically NASCAR's version of D.B. Cooper. The guy who stole a plane, gathered like millions of dollars in I guess just in money from the police, flew away, jumped out of the plane, then was never seen again. He is NASCAR's version of that.
And Mike, I'm going to disagree with what you're saying there, because they made it abundantly clear that they said it probably half a dozen times in the podcast that they are hoping someone approaches them about making a movie or writing a book. That they made it very clear that's why they were only showing this, that they were holding it in because they didn't want somebody to see the whole interview and then make a movie themselves. They wanted anybody who wanted to make a movie or write a book have to go through them for it. They made that abundantly clear multiple times, which is unfortunate to me. So,
yeah, which means we may not get an accurate movie. I guess a pure accurate version of like a movie or a TV show.
Yeah, unless we get to see that 2 hour and 15-minute interview in every second of it, I'm not sure we'll ever get a real accurate story. But that is one of only 2 news stories we've got tonight. So Zach, I will let you take us through the other one.
All right. So the second news story that we have today is Petty, Labonte, and Elliott. Excuse me. So we're gonna have a throwback Fox Sports booth with Petty, Labonte, and Elliott all in the Fox Sports booth for the Darlington race this season or this weekend. What are you guys' thoughts on this? Aaron, let's go to you.
I think if you're going to have a throwback weekend, you got to have some throwback personalities in the booth to match. I mean, it's the whole theme for the weekend, and I think NASCAR is doing it absolutely right. I mean, you got 3 of the probably the best drivers in the sport of all time. Of course, Richard Petty, aka the King, aka Richard the First. Long may he reign in NASCAR. Got Bobby Labonte, multiple champions.
One-time champion.
One-time champ with Joe
Perry
Gibbs.
won 2.
And then of course the man, the myth, the $1 million man, Bill Elliott. In the booth. I mean, it's just gonna be an all-star cast. Apparently they're going to be rotating them out in segments for this. I think Petty's going to go in stage 1, Labonte in stage 2, and then Bill Elliott in stage 3. I would kind of want Petty in stage 3 personally, just to hear the King and all of his stories and how he would get around this place and all that by being the King of NASCAR. I would love to see him kind of show us and tell us how he got around this place. But hey, you know what? As long as they're in the booth talking and commentating over NASCAR, I'm happy, especially on Throwback Weekend.
And I don't know, I haven't heard any interviews with Richard Petty recently, and I know he's into his 80s now, but man, he used to really be able to tell some stories and really give some great descriptions of how you get around a track. And I mean, he was an entertaining character. He was very, very articulate, but he was very entertaining the way he expressed himself too. So I am hoping that that's what we get. And I was a huge Bill Elliott fan, so I can't wait to hear Bill Elliott in there. And I think sprinkling Bobby Labonte in the middle of them will be nice too. So I'm excited for all things related to this Darlington race this weekend.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a very fun weekend.
Yeah, I think it's interesting the way that they're splitting it up. Richard Petty's going to do stage 1, Bobby Labonte's going to do stage 2, and Bill Elliott's going to do stage 3. So that's interesting. I like the aspect of them bringing the legends in for it too. I think that's perfect for Darlington. And Darlington's going to be fun, but I know we're going to talk about that later. So I'm interested to see how well Clint Boyer reacts with each of these guys, because I know he's probably going to be fanboying a little bit while also having to commentate the race as well. So
yeah,
it'll be interesting to see what he says. Yeah,
but to be fair, I think we're all going to be fanboying a little bit.
Well, he gets to stand right next to him, so
that's true. But still, I mean, like in our own couches or on the road or wherever you're watching the race. I hope you're not watching the race on the road. Please don't do that.
Yeah.
But no, wherever you're watching or listening to the race, I mean, I think we're all going to be fanboying just a little bit.
All right, so we are up to who's hot, who's not now. So let's start with Aaron. Aaron, who you got for who's hot, who's not?
Well, I've kind of overspoiled it a little bit for my who's hot, but I'm going to go with JGR. It seemed like this week or this season has been really mostly down for JGR, except for the two Kyle Busch win, or excuse me, the Kyle Busch win at Bristol Dirt. But besides that, it's not been too good for JGR this season. But I think this race is really, I think, a flame that kind of is part of that nice JGR this week. All four cars running very well. You got Bell up there. You had Truex. You got Hamlin looking like he was going to win the race, but just a tire failure kind of ended his day. And then you had Busch up there really contending for the latter half of the race. And so I think with that, I'm solidifying JGR as my who's hot this week just because of all four drivers doing very well at Dover. For who's not, I'm going to go the other way and say Penske Racing had an awful weekend at Dover. I mean, if I am looking at this right, I think the highest finisher for Penske was Ryan Blaney at 26th. So, yeah, it's not been a very good day for Roger Penske. So he's my who's not this week.
Penske saving his who's hot for Indy.
I hope so.
We'll see.
Back, who you got for who's hot?
Yeah, as far as my who's hot, I'm gonna say Dover. I kind of hinted at it earlier, like Aaron over here, but yeah, Dover showed more driver parity than it has ever shown before. I think with this new car on any other track, the amount of people that we had and saw inside the top 20 throughout the race. I mean, we saw a Rick Ware racing car inside the top 20 on speed almost the entire race, which is shocking, and it's not a super speedway. So pretty awesome to see, and I hope they keep Dover on the schedule for a long time, especially with this new car. And it's only going to get better as the teams learn the car better and everything else. So, I really thought Allmendinger might have challenged for a top 5, if not maybe a win there, if he didn't have a tire issue, just because he was charging through the field and you can see it. But he unfortunately had a tire go down. So one of my guys couldn't get it done. But again, Dover, more parity than ever. As far as who's not, I'm going to say Denny Hamlin. Yet again, we are 11 races into the season, and Denny Hamlin's only top 10 is his win back in early March, nearly 2 months ago. Pretty ugly, if you ask me. Not great. And we saw him lead early on. He had a fast car. He got caught in somebody else's wreck, unfortunately, but his luck seems to be absolutely non-existent. 11 races in, he would be probably less than 23rd in points. But right now he's sitting in 23rd simply because he has that win. He'd probably be way less had he even just a top 10 at Richmond, much less a win. And if he hadn't had a win, he would not be anywhere close to being in the playoffs right now. So this is definitely not good. And I hope Denny Hamlin gets on the right side of this. They need some type of luck. They need to find a couple horseshoes and turn it upside down there for him. But yeah, that's my who's hot, who's not for this week.
Yeah. I really think Hamlin could use that Jimmy Johnson horseshoe right about now.
Okay, I'm going to go with he could definitely use. I think hopefully this is a sign of good things to come for Joe Gibbs Racing, because I think they have, as an organization, have struggled. There's a couple of bright spots with Richmond and Bristol, but overall I think they've been subpar, at least for their standards. So let me cover my who's hot, who's not, and then we are going to get into some paint schemes. So for my who's hot, actually I am going to say who's hot are Darlington Throwback paint schemes. I'm not a guy who pays that much attention to paint schemes. I like the racing and the action on the track, and I couldn't care if the cars are painted plain white. I don't care. But, man, these Throwback schemes are awesome. I mean, coming from a guy who doesn't really get that into number placement and paint colors, man, these things are awesome. So I'm going with the Darlington paint schemes is my who's hot. As far as who's not, I'm going to go with the guys who broke the LW Wright story. Oh my gosh, you guys had the biggest story, the biggest mystery in the history of NASCAR, and you chose to completely disappoint us with what you showed in it. So I am going with the Scene Vault podcast as my Who's Not. Just extremely disappointing that we didn't get to hear more of the story, especially when you teased us with it and made it sound like you had all this great information to share. And it's basically like coming out and saying, this is the guy's name. We're not telling you anymore. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So all right,
Yeah.
let's go into comments. Mike Hora wanted to see, before we get in, I got a bunch of paint schemes. Before we get into this, Mike Hora talked about the Trackhouse Racing paint schemes, and I did not have them, but Aaron does have them here. And those are 2 Coca-Cola paint schemes. Pretty cool looking schemes there.
Yes, they are. They're beautiful. Even with the number placement forward, oh my gosh, they are phenomenal.
Okay, so
That is
what
beautiful.
schemes are they throwing back to?
They were throwing it back to Dale Earnhardt when he ran Coca-Cola.
Oh my gosh, I did not even know he ran Coca-Cola paint schemes. Wow.
He didn't throw them. He didn't run them a whole lot, but he did run them. And according to Trackhouse, that's what they're referring to. And
Those are good-looking schemes.
Oh, they're hot schemes. Oh my god. Honestly, a lot of things. I've been harsh on the paint schemes lately, or especially this season with the number moved forward. But some of these schemes are making me really reconsider this number schemes, this number thing.
Mike Horse says this is when NASCAR went to Japan. So, okay.
Yep.
All right.
Right.
Are you guys ready? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Aaron.
No, sorry. Go ahead.
Are you guys ready to get into paint scheme face-off?
I'm ready.
Sure.
Let's do it.
That's already a really good face-off right there. But
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know. Who do you guys pick? Yeah, and let's hear it from the viewers.
Yes, please. Let's hear from the viewers. Who would you pick? Would you go with the black checkerboard number 1 over here? Would you go for the classic red and black number 99?
I'm going with the 1.
I'm going with the 99. I like the classic.
I like the 1.
I don't know because both of them look phenomenal.
Both of them do. I don't know.
Go with the 1 just because this little checkerboard pattern right here. This little pattern right here. I gotta go with it.
The 1 just looks to me like it's just like a genuine throwback. Like it's unmistakable. But
yes.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
I mean, that's just me. I mean, I would take both in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
they look phenomenal. All right, moving on.
All right, you ready for me to go to the paint schemes?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so here we go. First up, hold on. Sorry. All right, here we go. The Mark Martin throwback schemes. We actually have 3 Mark Martin throwback schemes at Darlington this weekend. First up, we have Brett Moffitt in the 1982 rookie season Mark Martin throwback, which I gotta say, I had to look that up. I did not know what that was. I don't remember the 82 rookie season Mark Martin. In the middle, we have Brad Keselowski in the Viagra throwback. In top right is Alex Bowman with the Valvoline throwback.
Can I just rank them like first, second, and third?
Sure. You can do whatever you want, Aaron.
First, I gotta go with Alex Bowman. I mean, that paint scheme just is it is so iconic. They've done it just right. And Ally, they did not do like the I'm not sure what you call it, but like the gradient thing. Or was it Ally scheme, but just kind of like this Ally in the center, and then it's kind of like split up in separate ways and separate ways on the hood. They didn't do any of that this time. Thank you for not doing it. It looks hideous and ugly. And plus, of course, the colors are iconic, so I got to go with the 48 being first. Second, I got to go with Brett Moffitt. Simple, clean, just looks good. Third, of course, I'm going with Brad because the 6 is not centered in with that blue circle right there.
Yeah.
I'm not OCD, but that's triggering like an OCD response in me. Like, why not just center it just a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, Alex Bowman wins it. Ally, I love how they kept with the same colors. Didn't try and change the colors to their own Ally colors. Thought that was awesome. There's something that bugged me about the scheme when it first came out, but I don't know. I can't find any complaints about it right now. Second would have to be Brett Moffat's. I just love how the sponsors got into it as well. Like they were like, yeah, we can move our stuff around. This is pretty much the exact same car. And all the sponsors seem to have pitched in there a little bit, and they gave up space on the hood for it, which was awesome. So I definitely think they have to be second, if not almost tied for first there, at least on effort. And then Brad Keselowski's Viagra throwback, that does not impress me. I'm sorry.
No,
I like the attempt. I think that it was poorly executed, in my opinion.
I agree.
The number looks weird. It's not centered with that circle thing. Disappointment, but yeah, I'm not impressed.
I got to go with Brett Moffitt first, but I like the older throwbacks. I like it when I can look at a car and say that does not look like a modern paint scheme, that it looks like an old school paint scheme. And I know they have the advantage that since they're in Xfinity, that they can do the silver rims, but I love the silver rims. I love that look on the car. That's my number one. I got to go with Ally as number two, because I was able to look at that and recognize that, oh yeah, that's the Valvoline paint scheme. And then I'm going to rank the Brad Keselowski one sixth third, because I don't know. I don't know what you would do with it, but I just don't feel like they did anything special with it. So I'm gonna go with Moffitt, Bowman, then Keselowski. So. All right, so here we go. Let's go on. And we got some of these. I think this is neat. Like, we got 3 Mark Martins in one race. So I think that's pretty cool.
The greatest drivers to never win a championship, and he should have about 5 times over.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to the next one. And, maybe we'll go to the next one. Sorry. If I can get this. Okay, these are the Daryl Waltrip throwbacks. So on the left, you have Danny Bond doing a throwback to DW's final truck race, which I think was in 2005. And then we've got Chase Purdy doing a throwback to DW's famous Mountain Dew scheme that I think that was when he was driving for Junior Johnson, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so. Number 11 really gives it away.
Yeah. So let's start with you, Zach.
Oh my gosh.
I think the answer is a yes.
The 61 has to win it for me. I mean, the effort of the 20 team is great, but oh my word, it seems like they got everything down on that. I know you said you like older throwbacks, Tom, so I'm guessing which one you're probably going to go with. But the 61 has sponsors correct. The flames are nearly identical. Oh, that looks awesome. Yeah, I have to go with.
You can't do a better job of replicating that vehicle than they did.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's awesome. That is awesome. So, all right. Yeah, I'm gonna stop.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with Zach here. The 61 just it's out of the park for the 61. Even though the 20 does look really good by itself, it was kind of like Mark Martin in a way. It's one of the best paint schemes, but it went up against the best paint scheme. So I got to go with 61 truck. It just looks so phenomenal.
Yeah, I, even though I do like the old ones, you can't make it look any more like that 2005 truck. You just can't.
No, you can't. It's.
I mean, if it's a throwback and you're supposed to replicate a paint scheme, you can't do it any better.
No,
I mean, yeah, I got to give it to them for just. I mean, that is 99.9% the same paint scheme. So, Okay.
Oh
All
my
right.
gosh, that's such a cool paint scheme.
Man, these are some good paint schemes, though.
They really hit on it this year.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Here we go. Number 3, Dale Earnhardt, and we have 3 Dale Earnhardt paint
Oh,
schemes in
man.
this.
Oh Lord.
We have Jeremy Clements and Justin Allgaier, both kind of doing. I think that was the Wrangler jeans machine. That might have been back when he was driving the 2 car. And then you have Josh, and I will not butcher the last name, doing the classic GM Goodwrench service number 3 throwback. But I got to tell you, you guys can pick what you want here. These are all 3 of these are really good.
They are,
in my opinion.
They are.
I agree.
For me, I got to go with Jeremy Clemens up first. I mean, the font is damn near accurate. The Wrangler colors, even though I have seen it done multiple, like thousands of times, probably on Heat 5, and just having people kind of share their creations, and a majority of them are Earnhardt and Earnhardt Jr. paint schemes, because they are racing God and racing and racing Jesus. But I got to go Clemens first. I got to go with just based off of personal preference. I got to go with the 7 second, with Allgaier second, and then Reum third.
You're crazy.
You call me crazy, but I feel like I'm just seeing the 3 way too much, and it's starting to. I mean, for me, it's just starting to get burnt out. So everyone doing the 3 paint schemes, I'm just so tired of looking at it.
Okay, looking at this, does it bother anybody else that on Dale Earnhardt's 3, the font of the 3 is leaning forward, and the 33 on Josh's is leaning back?
Yeah,
and I'm just like, I just look at that and I'm like, it just looks, when you set them, especially in this photo where you can see the difference in the way the font is leaning, I'm like, that just looks so wrong.
It doesn't look. If the font was right, then I would give that. A lot more points. But I just if the
they
font
got
is kind of throwing it off.
If they had the font leaning forward like the original Dale Earnhardt, I would put that one number 1, but I got to put it number 3.
No, I disagree with all of you. I think that okay, so I'm basing this off of this. 7 is disqualified to me because that's Junior Motorsports team. I'm disqualifying it. They always run senior and throwbacks. For me, I'm looking at the team. Ream Brothers Racing. They hardly get any screen time. I guess they did win that Talladega race, but they're a mid-pack team. The effort for them to be able to run and get approval for a throwback scheme like this takes a lot of effort. I have to put the 33 in the front, and they did a pretty good job, with the exception of the font, of matching it as best they could on a truck series car, or a truck rather than a Cup Series car. I got to give it to 33 for first. Jeremy Clements, pretty much exactly what I said, but they're more of a mid-pack team. And then Justin Allgaier for me. But all are pretty good.
Okay.
I just think bonus points for a smaller team being able to run that nice of a throwback.
I got to put Clements first, and I got to put the 33 third, because the font just drives me nuts. And my problem with the Allgaier one is I could not find a real picture of the car. All I saw was these artist renditions, okay? You'll notice this is not a real picture of the car. This is an artist rendition of it, okay? I want a real picture of the car. So
Me too.
All right.
Yeah, one thing I did want to mention, like Mike Orr was saying, well, RCR definitely has rights to that number. I know they could probably lean with the font that they currently have. They could lean it forward instead of back, but I don't know how deep that it gets into copyright violations. So I don't know.
They may have gotten approval to run the scheme itself, but I don't think they got approval to run the font.
Yeah,
is what I think happened.
All right. Are you ready for the next one, Aaron? We got to let you go first on this one, okay?
I think I know where it's going.
I think.
Jeff Gordon
Yep.
getting 3 different throwbacks on this.
Nice.
Okay, hold on. Wait, is that the actual Justin Allgaier throwback? Hold on. Because I know there was one other.
No,
one
that can't be.
That
'Cause
was,
that's got to be the Jeff Gordon's actual one. I'm sorry, I put the wrong picture in there. Let me see if I can edit this real quick, because notice it says Monte Carlo on the front. So that's got to be
Yeah.
Jeff Gordon's actual one. I'm sorry. Hold
yeah,
on.
yeah. Oh, yeah. That's definitely Jeff Gordon's car. I know that. I know that car anywhere. Being a Gordon fan.
Hold on. I messed this up. Sorry.
But no, it's cool. It's cool. But going with the first two of Clements and Reum, oh my gosh, they look so good. I want to go with Clements because the scheme has more going on, and plus, I just always loved that car. I wish he ran it more. Just the like the teal blue flames against like a dark blue background. I've always loved that look. But even though Reum's scheme is very good, the font is basically damn near accurate. The paint scheme, of course, is just being pure blue. I think is a really cool look. But granted, if I didn't know that was going to be a throwback, I would have thought that was just another regular paint scheme. And so I got to give to Jeremy Clements here. But I think the other throwback one I think referring to, Tom, was William Byron's scheme.
Yeah, hold on.
He was doing
Let me see if I can pull this
throwback.
up and figure this out. Sorry, I know it's your favorite driver, and I've messed this all up.
Oh no, it's fine. I've already seen his throwback, and yeah, I've actually got it right here. And I gotta say, I am not impressed. I am not impressed.
Really?
No.
Mm.
It looks so plain on this rendition. I mean, yeah, of course, it's the Gordon, the famous flames for Gordon. I get it, but that's all it's got. That's all it's got, and I'm not impressed by it. And I've actually got it up here. I can share the screen right here, Tom, if you want me to.
Yeah, put it up there, and I will put it up here.
All right, there we go.
Here.
There you go. It's.
I should have it for you.
Needed to be a darker blue, in my opinion.
Can you do a screen share?
Yeah, I should have the screen share right here. You had it on there for a little bit.
Well, okay. Sorry. Here we go. It's at the bottom. I see it now.
There we go.
Yeah, there is the William Byron one.
It just looks so plain in this rendition. I really hope they kind of like spruce it up a little bit before the race. Maybe add like something a little bit more closer to like the center and kind of the rear wheel well right here. But it just looks so plain. I'm real disappointed in that one.
It needs to be a darker blue.
Yeah, plus it needs to be a little bit darker blue.
Yeah.
Looks too pale. But they got the lines right.
They got everything right, but it just looks so plain on that car. That's the one paint scheme I'm not thrilled about.
It's all those contingency sponsors.
I think I got to go with Clements on this one. I think I like his the best of any of them.
Go back to it really quick. I mean, I think you don't have to go back to it, but I think Clements would be my pick as well.
I believe that was the truck paint scheme.
Yeah, they did. They did a lot. For that.
Oh yeah, just that looks so good. But with Reum, it looks like if you didn't tell me that was a throwback, I would not have guessed it was going to be a throwback.
So Josh Ream is driving it, or Ryan Vargas? I think Ryan Vargas is driving it.
Oh man, did I get the names wrong? I messed this slide all up, didn't I? You're gonna have to put me on that podcast with the guys that did the LW Wright thing if I'm screwing things up this bad.
All right, so who's not this week? I'm changing it, midstream. Yeah. I'm changing it to Turbo Tom for messing this up.
All right. Let's move on. Maybe I got the next slide better. Okay.
All right. And to be fair, this was kind of last minute, so I will forgive you. I'll forgive you for it.
All right, so here we go. This one, and I don't like this concept. I don't like the idea of throwing it back to yourself, okay? I just don't like that. I think that's too egotistical. Okay.
I think it's kind of lazy, to be honest.
Yeah. But we've got Christopher Bell throwing back to his Truck Series championship, Denny Hamlin throwing back to his 2016 Daytona 500 victory.
So much going on. Yeah.
I think it's fine throwing it back to yourself. No, I'm just kidding.
You know what? Why not throw back to yourself? I mean, if you're in the sport for so long, I mean, you kind of have so many paint schemes you want to throw back to.
Hamlin needs his 2016 luck.
Yeah,
I like the Hamlin one better, to be honest. But I'm not a fan of running your own paint schemes.
I like both of them.
Well, okay, so why not?
I like both of them. You know, I don't know. Daytona 500 is a big win, so maybe he gets a pass. But I think more of a Truck Series championship throwback, I don't mind that as much. Daytona 500 victory, it's a little bit more questionable to me.
Yeah.
Throwing it back to your Truck Series championship, fine. But I still don't like the idea of throwing it back to yourself as well. Throwbacks are for giving the old head some airtime again. Come on.
Giving them
this
old
is
folks
supposed to be about NASCAR history.
Yeah.
And if you're still racing, you're supposed to be writing your own history. You're supposed to still be writing it, not talking about it. So,
I mean,
okay.
So I'm not a fan of throwing it back to yourself.
If they win, then we'll eat our words. But still,
well, they can win. I still don't have to like it. Okay.
Honestly, I like Christopher Bell's paint scheme. I think a lot more than I like Denny's. To be
yeah,
honest, it just seems more brighter.
So is that an actual 20 that they're going to be running?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting how they included it. Did they do a mock-up of the next gen car with? I guess they did. Yeah.
I don't know.
The number moved forward.
Yeah, I guess so.
Anyway.
All right. Next, we have got throwing it back to Dad. Harrison Burton throwing it back to his dad, Jeff Burton, and the Exide car. And we got Jeb Burton throwing it back to Ward Burton. And I don't even remember Ward Burton running that paint scheme. I think that was probably pretty early on in his career. But we've got throwing it back to Dad.
Can I please take this one?
Go.
Sure.
21 wins. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That is an amazing scheme.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that they got Dex on board to match the pink. I mean, well, it's not matching the pink, but the pink makes it to me. Holy crap, this is awesome. I want to get a die cast of it really bad, and I'm not really even a Woods Brothers fan as much anymore. Shame, but yeah, I love that. I love that scheme.
I do too. This is, I mean, the 27 is a good looking paint scheme, but I mean, if they would have gone with the Ward Burton Caterpillar paint scheme, this would have been a lot closer.
Yeah,
I agree.
But I mean, it's a Jeff Burton Exide car. I mean, how can you not vote on it? I mean, it looks phenomenal. I mean, again, it's one of those paint schemes that just looks so freaking accurate, almost exact copy of the 99 paint scheme, just thrown on there to the 21. And so I got to go with the 21.
Yeah, I got to vote the 21 too. And I don't know if they had issues with trying to get, as you said, rights to it or not. But if you're going to do a Ward Burton Throwback, do the Caterpillar one. Come on.
Exactly, man. I mean, okay, actually, is Caterpillar still with RCR?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's probably why.
Oh, no, nope, they're not. Wait.
Oh, they're not.
No, they're not. Not of this year that I can remember. I don't think they are.
Well, if they're not, I would have said, Cat, look, just give us one race, just run the paint scheme, and then you will never have to have your history tarnished.
And I don't know why Caterpillar would object. It's free advertising for them.
Exactly.
So,
but I don't know. But man,
yeah,
they left last year. It looks like.
Yeah. Okay, but yeah, I will give the 27 props. It does look good though. It does look good. The 21 just takes it.
Yeah. So I think we all agree on the 21 on that one. All right, here we go. This is one of my favorites. Next, we have got really old school. This is Corey LaJoy in the 7 doing a throwback to Marty Robbins, and we have got Joe Graff Jr. doing a throwback to Buckshot Jones.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Now, I want to go first on this one, and I am going with the Corey LaJoy, Marty Robbins throwback scheme, just because I think they did a pretty good rendition of it. That with where the numbers are and how they transposed the name and the number, I think is really cool. And Marty Robbins used to run these cars that had paint that nobody else used and that was not particularly attractive. And somebody asked him why. And Marty Robbins was a country singer, okay? So he was not like a full-time race car driver. And he liked to go to the big tracks where you went really fast, like Talladega. And somebody asked him about that, and he said, when those fast guys come up on me to lap me, I want to make sure they know who I am. That they know that this is a guy out here who doesn't do this full time, and he's not that good, and he's not that fast, so they give me plenty of room when they're lapping me. He said, so I want a car that they never mistake for anybody else.
Oh, yeah, and especially underneath the lights, that car will be easy to see from about 3 miles away.
Yeah. So I'm picking the Corey LaJoy, Marty Robbins one.
Yeah. Shane, I hate voting for paint. Yeah. I completely agree. But I think I also heard I'm going with LaJoy for this one. All because they got NASCAR to say, hey, look, for one race, can you just sponsor or can you just like let us slide with the triple digit numbers? Even though NASCAR was like very particular with their numbers because, of course, like you see here, they would not budge with the numbers like going back to the center for throwback. But NASCAR would allow them to actually put the 777 number on the car and allow them to run it for this one race. And so just for that, I got to give it to Marty Robbins' car. Even though the 07 looks absolutely spectacular, it looks clean, it looks crisp, it looks great.
Yeah, 07 is great. It's funny how they both have they're both pretty 7 essentially. Yeah, I think that's a great car. But yeah, Corey LaJoy's car has to win for me. Just awesome. I don't know how they convinced NASCAR to put 2 extra numbers behind the main number. That would confuse the hell out of me. But kudos to them. It seems like I think Corey LaJoy might be sponsoring his own ride. Because stacking pennies is his mantra, so to speak, and it doesn't look like any other sponsorship on that. So maybe he's sponsoring his own thing to run which maybe he said I wanted to run this specific scheme, so I'll pay for it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I really hope. I'm sorry, Tom. I'll finish down with you. I hope the NASCAR graphics has the 777 on LaJoy instead of just a 7. When they go by, I hope they do it because that would be awesome.
That would be.
I think it would take up too much room.
Oh, screw it. Who cares? Yeah. Just run it.
Yeah. And Shane, absolutely 100%. That is Marty Robbins. Yeah. Marty Robbins, Big Iron was one of his big songs. And that
was pretty much it.
I can't remember. No, there was another one that I'll think of 5 minutes after we're off the show. Yeah, 100%. That is the same Marty Robbins, no doubt.
Wow.
Okay. All right, we got 2 more to get through here. And this is one that the kids are going to love. Looney Tunes and M&M's. So this is Josh Berry, another Junior Motorsports doing a throwback to Dale Earnhardt Jr., and Kyle Busch doing a throwback to the 1998 M&M's, which I don't even remember who was driving the M&M's car in 1998. So I don't think it was Kyle Busch because I think he was, if he was in NASCAR in 98, that would have been when he was driving the number 5 car for Hendrick, if he was even in back then. I don't know who drove it.
No, Busch got his start in 05 for the 5 car in Hendrick. And then he switched to Joe Gibbs in 2008.
Yeah. Kenny Strader?
May have been Kenny Strader. I'm looking that up right now.
But I'm going to go with the
Ernie Irvin.
Ernie Irvin, yeah.
I'm going to go with the number 8 The Josh Berry throwback. It just had to have so much detail go into that. Yeah, Swervin' Irvin.
Swervin' Irvin.
Yeah, I have to go with the 8. Just awesome. I love that scheme.
El Paso was his other big one. Was the other big Marty Robbins song.
I think Shane beat you to it there.
Oh, he beat me. I didn't.
The only one that, the only one I've ever heard from Marty Robinson was, of course, Texas Red. And that's all because of Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah.
But I got to go with the 8 here. Looney Tunes. That's awesome. And that scheme is going to run near the front there. Kyle Busch, I think it's a good effort. I just don't love it.
Yeah. Again, this one of those schemes, just like the flames on the Gordon throwback for William Byron. If the number was in its correct spot, it would look phenomenal. Otherwise, it just looks plain and boring and just like that. So even though I think they did a much better job of filling that space in with the 18 car, unlike William Byron, the 8 car just looks so good. I mean, if I had the money for all that space games, I would be a broke man.
Does Josh Berry always run the 8 forward?
I believe so.
I think so.
Okay, I didn't know.
I mean, hell, he just won. He just won Saturday, so probably should know.
I know. I didn't get to watch it. Please tell me.
Yeah, Mike Hoare is saying we need to read the comments. Yeah, we do. I was looking at YouTube for Marty Robbins videos, and I should have just been looking at the comments here.
Please tell me you saved the best one for last.
No, I didn't. I got to be honest, I didn't. Okay, because you'll look at, because everything so far has been, it's been the Dale Earnhardts, it's been the Jeff Gordons, it's been, all this other stuff where there's a comparison. Wait till you see the last slide. I am out of comparison. Which one do you like better?
The one.
Dang.
The one.
I like it too. I do too.
They're both really good, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Yeah, Deegan, I think, takes the cake for me. That looks so good.
Oh, the one looks awesome too. They.
I mean, even though I like Mikey, even though I do like the 12, I think it looks pretty good. I gotta go with the one car. It looks phenomenal.
I think they're tied. I can't make a decision. I'll go with the one.
There you go.
But to me, Spencer Boyd, they get extra bonus points. Like I said, smaller team, matching it identically. Even the font of the number.
Excuse me.
Oh, but yeah, I gotta go with the one there.
Yeah. Even though I will say, since this is the last slide, I will say this: Kyle Larson's car, it looks absolutely phenomenal too. The classic, Hendrick Chevrolet, like institutional 5, it looks phenomenal.
I'm surprised you didn't include. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The one that I wanted to include, and I couldn't find a great comparison to that I thought was great, was the Sterling Marlin throwback that is going to be driven by Matt DiBenedetto.
I know. Yeah. I was surprised you didn't include that.
I couldn't find anything to compare it to.
Okay.
But man, I thought they did a great job there.
Yeah, that I think also the let me go find it again. Chris Buescher with the Matt Kenseth throwback. I think it looks so good. The font is, oh my gosh, the 17 looks so underrated. It looks so good. A lot of these are just nailing it.
Yeah.
Even Joy's looks good.
Now, the things that I'm going to say 2 things more about throwbacks, and I know we spent a lot of time on it, but I've had fun with it, is there's a car that I've really wanted them to do a throwback of, and I don't think anybody has ever done it. Back in, I think, 79, Donnie Allison drove a #1 dark red Hawaiian Tropic car. He raced it at Daytona. It was, if you remember the thing when Cale Yarborough got into a big fight at the end of the race,
yeah,
that was with Donnie Allison. I would love to see. I don't think anybody's ever done one. I want to see that throwback.
I thought they did at one point.
Did they?
On one of like the first iterations.
Maybe they did and I missed it.
To Donnie, Allison. I thought they did.
Okay. So the other thing, and this may draw ire because we've talked about this as being not about doing throwbacks to yourself. Oh, Jamie Mack drove it.
Yeah, okay. I thought somebody did.
I gotta go look that car up now. I gotta see that. I want to see them do a couple of different things with throwbacks that I don't think anybody's done. One is do a throwback to fictional cars. Do a Lightning McQueen throwback, or do a Cole Trickle throwback. Do something that is a throwback to a fictional race car driver. I think that would be cool.
I think someone already, I mean, of course, Lightning McQueen, they've already kind of done that. And I think William Byron ran a Cole Trickle scheme.
Did he?
I believe so, yes.
All these things that I think great ideas somebody's done. The other thing is I would like to see somebody, because you can do so much with paint now and graphics, is maybe take like a car that was in a famous wreck and do a throwback of that car and do the graphics to show like the wrinkles in the sheet metal and stuff like that.
That would be cool. That would be really cool. And oh, Tom, by the way, I've got the Donnie Allison throwback on the screen share right now if you want to take a look. Right there, number one car.
Oh my gosh. I did not know that they did that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
They got the one.
Yeah,
That's so
yeah,
cool.
that's back like, I guess when they just started doing it.
Okay, I missed that. Did I say Kyle Petty? I meant Cole Trickle. If I said Kyle Petty, I'm sorry.
No,
I meant Cole Trickle.
I thought I said Cole Trickle.
Okay.
There's so many awesome throwbacks in the truck series. It's awesome to see.
Oh, I know. There's honestly even Ty Gibbs' throwback to Bobby Labonte looks really good. Oh my gosh.
Darlington has a fan vote for the best paint scheme, so you guys got to go vote for it.
It's going to be tough this year.
I don't know who
it's going to be tough.
I think you know who I voted for. But
you voted for Matt DiBenedetto and the Coors Light.
Yeah, but you can't go wrong with that. That's perfect.
They did a good job. I couldn't. Nobody else. I couldn't find anybody else that did like a beer throwback because I was looking for it and I couldn't find anybody who did one.
I want to go through Marlin just because he's from Tennessee.
Unique,
but gosh, there's a lot of good ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, I think we are back up to the end, so we got to talk about a Darlington preview and some closing comments.
All righty, who wants to go first for Darlington preview?
I'm going to say that this is going to be another Hendrick track. This is the time of year last year when Hendrick got on a roll. Last year at Dover, they went 1, 2, 3, 4. This is then we go to Darlington, and this is when Kyle Larson, as he said, video gamed it to try to catch up to Hamlin on the last lap. But this has been a good track for Hendrick. I think that if you look at it, they've been kind of pushing their way to the top of the mega teams and kind of showing that they're a little stronger than some of the others. But I'm going to say it's either going to be Hendrick or it's going to be Ross Chastain, because he just seems like it doesn't matter the size of track. It doesn't matter if you run on a green track that's had a rain delay. It doesn't matter if you run on a road course. It doesn't matter where you run, any size track, any day of the week, any conditions. Ross Chastain right now is just hot. He can put the car up front. So I'm saying it's either going to be an HMS car or it's going to be Ross Chastain. So that's my Darlington preview.
What?
Okay.
Interesting.
All right, Zach, what say you since you're being vocal?
Who did you pick, Tom? Did you pick Ross Chastain?
HMS or Ross Chastain?
Okay, well, I'm going to go with Ross Chastain as my winner. In the 42 Chip Ganassi car, he led one lap. He finished 9th in stage 1, 3rd in stage 2, and ended up finishing 3rd in the race. Started 23rd. He's been very, very dominant this season already. And in that crappy of a car, he ended up finishing third and actually on merit. I would have to say Ross Chastain wins at Darlington. My other driver, I would have to say, would probably be, maybe a dark horse would probably be Tyler Reddick. Gets
Okay,
it
so
done.
let's go down a Tyler Reddick path for a minute, because Mike Cora says an RCR car will win. That's his prediction. Okay, Tyler Reddick, when he was in the Xfinity Series, he absolutely owned Homestead. Okay, and he finished second at Homestead last year. Similarities between Homestead and Darlington: you run right up against the wall.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there is some merit there for saying Tyler Reddick, because this is a kind of a track where, you know, he likes to run up against the wall, and that's what you got to do to go fast. So I think there's some merit for Mike's pick of RCR, or at least Tyler Reddick.
I agree.
That is true. But I guess for my pick, I want to go with Hamlin, because it seems like anytime I go to Darlington, Hamlin is just so dang good at Darlington. And I want to say, because of just the little momentum he got at Dover, I think is enough to spark that race team up to try and put together a full race finally. And plus, that team just needs something good to have in their way. And so much as sounds just a chagrin, I will go with Hamlin as the winner, because he just seems to be so good there. And for my dark horse, I got to go with... Honestly, I kind of want to go with Reddick as well as my dark horse.
Okay, so Shane, did you pick Elliott last week? Is that what you're telling us? Because I honestly can't remember. If you say you did, I'll believe you, because I can't remember.
I won't. I won't believe you whatsoever.
Are you the prognosticator? Did you see it coming?
I mean, Hendrick has been solid at Dover, so, I mean, it was just kind of a pick of which Hendrick driver you want.
You know who else has been solid at Dover?
Who?
Kurt Busch. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 top 10 finishes in his last 8 starts there. And he has finishes of 15th and 35th before. But both those have no stage points. Every other race he has had stage points in there in the last 8 years. So I would have to say he also enters the dark horse category. So my 2 dark horses are going to be Reddick, and since Aaron kind of stole my other ones, Reddick and Kurt Busch. But I'm still picking Ross Chastain to win.
Shane coming in with Byron. Saying you heard it here first. All right, see if he goes 2 in a row.
All right, Shane, I am putting it down here on our little agenda here. Going with Byron to win. So we will remember next time.
Yes.
All right. It is almost 10:30. I think we got to wrap this up and come up with some parting comments. I will go first in the parting comments, and I want to say you two have converted me and dragged me over to the dark side. I used to not care about paint schemes. I used to not care about colors. I used to not care about placement of numbers. I used to not even care if the cars had numbers on them. I just wanted to see the racing. Now I spent over an hour, maybe an hour and a half, putting together that paint scheme preview because I wanted to do it. You guys have converted me.
Yes. Yes.
I now care about paint schemes.
Yes.
And it's all because of you two. So that's my parting comment.
Excellent. Welcome to the dark side.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Oh. I mean, all NASCAR is just fast-moving billboards. And if your billboard doesn't look good, you're not going to be noticed.
That is true.
So,
well, I guess I'll go next. So I'm going to go a different route. So Formula One. I know we have one guy who watches Formula One at least one guy who watches Formula One on here. They're in the United States racing in Miami this weekend. So starting on the 6th, which is Friday, you got first practice. Going into qualifying, the race is going to be Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon, at 3:30 p.m. It might conflict with Darlington, I think. No, Darlington's a night race, so no, it won't. But I encourage anybody who's a racing fan to watch it. I think it'll be a great race. I think you're gonna really enjoy it, especially the American atmosphere. It's a good time to get started. It's the first race in Miami that they're holding, so they're doing it big down in South Beach. Take a look at it, watch it, tell me what you think. I'll be back here next week.
Actually, the Darlington race is Saturday at 3:30. They're not doing it under the lights.
What?
Oh, Saturday.
May 8th, 3:30 p.m.
No, man.
No, that's Sunday.
Come on,
That's
man.
Sunday then.
Sunday, yeah. It's not
Sunday,
under the
not
lights.
Saturday.
Did I say
Sunday, not
Saturday? I'm
Sunday.
sorry. I mean, it was during the day.
So that's directly conflicting with Darlington. Whew.
Oh, man.
I guess I'm gonna be flipping through. Formula One doesn't have commercials, so you don't get to flip through very easily.
Wow. Like we're saying
$500.
Wow.
$3,000 for a bleep. Wow.
That's for
It
the
is.
F1 race. Wow.
And they're getting people to buy them too. They're getting people to buy them. Couldn't be me, but they're getting people to buy them.
Jeez.
Perfectly fine watching commercial-free racing from my couch.
God, thank God I'm not an F1 fan, but at least I can go to the races.
So-
Anyway.
All right. So have you had your parting comments, Aaron?
I have not.
All right.
So for my parting comments, this is probably going to be the best time of the week for me because me and a buddy of mine are going to a concert down in good old Maryville, Tennessee at the Shed to go to a Blackstone Cherry concert that we always go to annually. Me and a buddy always go. I'm looking forward to it. This is probably going to be the best time of the year so far for me. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm going to go down there and have a good time. Maybe or maybe not get drunk. I cannot confirm nor deny those allegations. But anyway, I'm just I'm looking forward to it. Even though I have to work tomorrow, even though I'm off to make it for Wednesday or for Friday, it's going to be worth it. So
Have fun.
Hell yes.
Well, I think Mike Hora, somebody made a comment saying the Marty Robbins car you could see from outer space. Let me tell you, I remember going to a race, I think it was Daytona, and you talk about a car you could see anywhere on the track. This was the Jeff Burton Singular Wireless car, or Singular One Wireless.
Yes.
This is a car that you could see from outer space. Holy cow, that thing was bright and it stuck out. Oh my gosh. You talk about, if you want to do a throwback that like the astronauts at the International Space Station can see, do that throwback. I mean, you could spot that car anywhere on the track.
Yeah, that and of course the Menards like highlighter yellow cars.
Yeah.
Those two cars you can see probably back from outer space because man. Remember when the car was blank when Sprint took over? Yeah. Because Sprint wanted to be tyrannical.
Yeah.
Which I guess made sense, but still, I mean, come on, you've ruined a good paint scheme.
Yeah. So, all right. With that, I think it is time for us to end this broadcast and wrap it up. Thank you guys for playing along. And Adam Lauer finally shows up. Adam, I was even sending you emails. I was worried about you, buddy.
Oh man!
Glad you are finally here. Better late than never.
Yeah.
But thank you for tuning in.
I mean, hey, Adam, look, you can always check out the full video, I think coming up tomorrow or once this video ends, or once the live stream ends, on YouTube at The Setup Man. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your dog. Because I don't know, maybe he or she wants to race some NASCAR. Who knows?
So, all right. With that, I'm going to sign off. Thank you guys for playing along. It was fun. All right, Adam. If you're with your daughter, I can understand that. Somebody's got to take priority over us. We're going to play second fiddle. We'll play second fiddle. Your daughter. We'll take that.
Yeah, we will gladly play second fiddle to family.
So, all right. With that, we will catch you guys later. See you next week. Enjoy the race at Darlington. Hope none of those throwback schemes get mangled up too bad, and we will see you later.
See you later, guys.
See you guys.